Welcome back to the Buds in the Box podcast. The Leafs win 5-1 over the Washington Capitals, and Ilya Samsonov gets his revenge. He's already gotten his revenge, but I'm going to emphasize revenge on this game because last year or going into this season, the Capitals thought that their main problem was goaltending. Samsonov had a below average save percentage last year, so did Vanacek. And now that they have Kuemper in net and the Leafs chased Kuemper out, and I think it was who's their backup goalie, Johansson or something.
Um, I don't know.
I can check.
Yeah, it's Lindgren. Lindgren.
Lindgren, right.
Yeah.
So they chased Kuemper. Lindgren went in net. So it just proves that it wasn't actually a goaltending problem. We got the good goalie. New Jersey got the good goalie. And now we're two of the best teams in the league. Well, the Capitals, well, they're not one of the best teams in the league. So that's why I emphasize revenge. And that's kind of what this whole premise is about. But we'll get right into the Leafs game.
Sorry,
So,
1 second.
okay.
New Jersey is third place in the league right now. For anyone that
Yeah.
didn't know, that is crazy.
Yeah.
I just learned that yesterday when I was thinking it. I was talking to someone and they were like, "Boston's one, Carolina's two. Who's three?" I was like, "The Leafs," and I was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, Tampa." No. I was like, "Who is it?" No way. New Jersey is crazy. But
Yeah,
they did
they
go on
were in
that crazy
first.
run. Yeah,
They
they went
did,
on that
yeah.
crazy run. So
Mm.
anyway,
Yeah, they went like 11-0 or something at the start of
yeah,
the season.
yeah.
And then they've just been really good. They kind of fell off a little bit, but they're right back on track. Jack
Hmm.
Hughes right up at the forefront.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first period, not our period. The Leafs, they conceded a goal, and I wasn't really too happy about that. And I was like, oh no, like we can't lose to the Capitals.
Hmm.
But then the second period, oh my God. I read one comment on Puck Empire that was like, I'm a Washington Capitals fan, and I have no idea what the hell just went on. It was like the Leafs were the Harlem Globetrotters. And then just rewatching
Globetrotters?
the what?
Globetrotters?
Yeah.
You said Globetrotters.
Sorry, Globetrotters. Um,
Apologize.
the Globeberry Trotters.
Globeberry Trotters.
Um, but yeah, it like the second period was just completely different for the Leafs. I had to
Mhm.
rewatch the goals just to like confirm that. And oh my God, man. Bunting scored on the power play. That was just a nice net front. Tavares and Bunting were just banging it home. And it was also
What were
Tavares'
they
thousandth
doing?
game. They were they were banging.
Okay.
Also Tavares' 1,000 game. We forgot to talk about that.
True.
Did you want to say anything on that or?
Yeah, I mean, he's I think I was actually listening to this game on the radio while I was driving, and I think Joe Bowen said something about him being he's the only one from his draft class, I want to say, that's at the 1,000 game mark. So he's obviously been, and I think he's been the most successful guy from that draft class from my recollection. So
I'd
um,
say.
so yeah, so I think he was a clear number one choice, and he's definitely from that draft class. At least he was the best player, but he's had a great career up to this point. He's
Yeah,
31 now, so 32. So he's still got a couple years left in him at least as a really, really good player. So I'm glad he's on the Leafs.
yeah. Hopefully he can turn it up in the playoffs. That's all we really
Yeah.
hope for.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, he's a point per game player his whole career. So
Yep.
yeah.
Mr. Reliable.
Yeah, he's
Um,
reliable.
I just want to confirm whether he got two assists or one assist in his thousandth game.
I believe it was two.
He did. Yeah, it was two.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he got the assist on that one, and then I think he got was it him that made that pass?
He
Because
got the
this
assist on Reilly's goal as well, I
right.
think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't make that pass, but he was battling in the corner. Bunting passes out to Reilly, a beautiful no-look pass from behind the net, and
Hey,
Reilly gets his first of the season.
first of the season. That is unbelievable for Riley, man. He looked up to the sky like you know that anyone who's played hockey before knows that feeling. It's just like that weight off the chest. Oh my God. I know he's a defenseman. No one's expecting him to score. He has had a 20-goal season before, but it's like no
Really?
one's yeah. But no one's expecting Morgan Riley to go down the ice and score a goal. You know, it's like me I personally do wish he had a bit of a harder shot because top of the that top of the
Power play?
blue line, yeah, on the power play is like it's very lethal if you have a really hard shot from up there. And like, there's a lot of guys that the puck just goes through if their shot's hard enough. He's not one of those guys, more a finesse guy. But listen, he's still got 30 something assists this year. So
Mhm.
now he gets that goal on the board, which is good for him. But I don't think we have to worry about him scoring 50 goals this year, or even 20 again. I mean, it's good if he does, but let's let the forwards do that. And Liljegren and Sandin have actually been mixing in some goals the odd time. So
Liljegren has been
yeah,
playing out of his mind lately.
yeah, I really like Liljegren's play for real. He's
Yeah,
been really good.
defensively and offensively. A few things about Reilly, and the Leafs actually. So I was reading a stat the other day that the Leafs are like bottom five for defenseman goals, I think, which
Mhm.
doesn't really matter when our forwards are banging in like five a night. So I don't really see a problem with that. You
What
would
about
like to get them involved, but
what about defenseman points? Is that a thing?
I didn't
Did you
see
see
that. It was
that?
just goals. It was
Okay,
just goals. But
because I want to say they all have a lot of points
yeah, they do.
for
Yeah.
defensemen.
Yeah. Plus, we've been dealing with so many injuries. That's another thing.
It's
Like
true.
Morgan Riley, he has like what? I think it was close to 30 assists he has this season.
I
21
think it's
assists.
over. Okay.
21
He's also
assists.
missed
He missed so
a
much
lot of the
time. He
time.
was injured
Yeah,
for almost
yeah,
half the season, right?
yeah, yeah,
So that's definitely a contributor. And it's a good thing that he got going right away. Like he's only been back for a few games.
yeah.
And then I was gonna, oh yeah, and I also another thing, I'd rather have a Riley that's more defensively responsible than
Yes.
like, scoring goals and getting assists because we've seen a version of Riley where he just almost plays as the fourth forward and TJ Brody's just back. But like once TJ Brody, he can't handle all of that. Like we slowly
Yeah.
realized, and now he's more defensively responsible and he's not putting as many points. But I'd rather have that over someone who's too offensively minded.
100%. Like we have enough skill literally we have enough skill on that blue line to like form like a second line. Like, if you could technically get Reilly, Sandin, and Liljegren are like forward-ish. They're very
Mhm.
offensive minded when they want to be, but they're all honestly, I haven't had a single issue with any of those three guys being defensively not liable. You know,
Yeah,
I think all three of them are great. Like especially Reilly and Liljegren. It's just so good to see two young guys coming into their own in the NHL. Like they are the future of the Leafs blue line. You
Did you
know,
mean Sandine and Logren?
who did I say?
You said Riley and Logren.
Sandy and Logan. Sandy and Logan.
They
Yeah,
are. It's
but
really nice to see because we like they're almost like Tage Thompson's. I don't want to use that term because obviously Tage Thompson is a unicorn and he went from being so bad to just so good, but
he
they've
is a
really
unicorn.
come into their own and found their role on the Leafs.
Yeah, he Tage Thompson is a complete unicorn. I don't even want to talk about him because he's crazy. I could go on for like a long time about him, but listen, listen. There's gonna be a time in 3-4 years. Reilly's gonna be 34 years old. Giordano's gone. I think Timmins could actually sign a contract with the Leafs at the end of this year and
Mhm.
potentially be in the top six for a little while. But Sandy and Liljegren, in my eyes, unless they go out and sign a defenseman, they're going to be the top pairing
Yeah,
for the next like at least let's say in 4 years. Those two guys are going to be 1 and 2. Like I see that righty and a lefty. They're both defensively responsible. But the good thing about having two guys like that is you could even put them on. We always have a solid top four with those two guys.
yep,
So
yeah,
anyway, enough about them. But yeah,
yeah. There's definitely a lot of worrying, but they're really coming into their own. That's the
hmm
main point.
hmm
Um, then to finish off the period, William Nylander. I think this was the 3-on-1, and they fucked it
yeah, they
up.
did mess it up. Yeah,
But hey, a goal's a goal. You
yeah.
fucked it up, but you made up for it. And Willie
Yeah.
Nylander, I think he got the rebound.
I think Yarncroc didn't get an assist, which was weird.
He did. He
It
did.
was a delayed penalty.
He got the
Did he get
assist.
in? He did.
Him
Okay.
and Sandine.
Okay, and Sandy did too. Okay. I think at first they didn't give Yarncroc the assist, and it was like that was weird because he touched the puck after Sandine, but
Oh,
they
okay.
might have just messed it up at first. But yeah,
Mhm.
no. Honestly, the puck went in the back of the net. Who cares how
Yeah.
pretty it is or whatever, right? And Engvall ended up the period, I believe.
Pardon?
with a goal. I believe Engvall ended off the period with a goal as well.
Yep. It was a snipe from
Yeah.
Giraffe Seabiscuit himself.
He hadn't scored since that Boston game. I think that was his first goal since the Boston game.
Uh, you're correct.
Yeah. And we play Boston. Leafs Boston tomorrow or the next day. Tomorrow, I believe.
We play again tomorrow.
Actually, it would be Tuesday.
We play our next game. Oh, you're right. Wednesday.
It's Boston.
Wednesday, yeah.
Wednesday. Okay, so 3 days. They get a nice little break here.
And then the All-Star break.
Yeah. So love to have Matthews for that game, but hey, they played well today. Without him, they're gonna continue. You'd love to have Matthews. You always love to have Matthews, but
Mhm.
they're faring without him, which is good to see. It's not like it's not a completely dead team without him.
Yeah, yeah.
Tavares is a first line center on 20 teams in this league.
Mhm.
Leafs aren't one of them. You know, so
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
you still got your first line center.
I know. And I don't want to get into like this whole like Matthews debate about like last year he scored 60 goals a series on pace for like what 40 or something.
Man,
I would I would way rather this scenario where you have
spread it
Tavares,
out.
yeah, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, and Matthews all in the top 25 for points. I would
Hmm
100% way
hmm
rather that a lot. And then the other guys aren't too far behind. I mean, there's definitely a gap there, but Bunting's not too far behind. Yarncroke, surprisingly, well, not even surprisingly, that
Oh
was just a
man,
good signing.
Aaron Krug's contract is amazing.
Hmm
Amazing, 2.1 million.
But yeah, we can make a whole other video just on that topic on the fact that
Yeah,
Austin Matthews taking not even a step back, but just like half a step down. It's
yeah,
so much better for the team. We are a lot better team this year
yeah,
than last year, and it's really easy to tell.
yeah. I mean, here's the issue, and I hate to be that guy, but we have to play Tampa in the playoffs, or Boston.
Well, we're like Boston has lost three straight. If they
Listen,
fall off, we're 10 points behind.
that's a big if, but
It is. It is.
listen, odds are it's going to be Tampa or Boston.
Yeah.
Most likely Tampa. And it honestly, none of this matters. Like I love talking about it and I think it's great. And yes, they're winning, it's regular season and all that. It doesn't matter till game one of the playoffs.
Mhm.
And Tampa steps into Scotiabank Arena and the Leafs, they gotta win those. It's just like those 4 wins are so much more important than anything else going on.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like honestly, none of this matters. It's great that they're winning, and I think they're going to be a playoff team, which is amazing, right? Which is basically a given at this point. It's just like I get so like I'm literally more nervous stepping into Maple Leaf Square for Game 1 of the playoffs last year than I was stepping into my gym to take an exam. Like legitimately, I
Yeah.
get more nervous to go to Maple Leaf Square and watch that game. I was literally, you can ask Jude next time. I mean, yeah, elephant in the room. Jude's not here. We hate him now. No, I'm kidding. Um, he's feeling sick or something. So, but you can ask Jude. We'll ask him next podcast. But I was shaking. I was
Mhm.
literally like shaking that first game of the playoffs
Yeah.
last year when we went to Maple Leaf Square, and it was like it's nerve wracking. I don't know why. It's just so nerve wracking.
Yeah. It's either from your nerves or that small ass hot dog that we bought for dinner.
Oh God. Literally, man. I was probably just shaking because I was like so hungry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll move on to the Aston-Reese goal, and then we'll get into some trade talks at the end to wrap the video up.
sure.
Zach Aston-Reese scores a nice goal.
Beauty.
It was Holmberg that got the assist,
Yeah.
and it
Holmberg's
was
been
just a
great.
nice pass. And then he got a breakaway, waited patiently, and beat Lindgren out.
I was saying this to someone the other day. Third and fourth liners are so interchangeable. It's like when you think about it, it's like Holmberg comes up, they trade Maligan for Hunt. Hunt gets sent to the minors. Simmons plays a game. Simmons goes down. Clifford will come in the odd time, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like they're so interchangeable and it just kind of doesn't really matter. I feel like people have been all bottom sixes in the NHL are like basically the same.
except for New
Unless
York.
unless your third line consists of that Tampa team in 2019 or 2020 or whatever it was with Gaudreau
Um, Gaudreau and
and
Coleman.
Coleman and whatever, that's obviously a way better third line than a lot of teams. For me, like having Yarncroc on the third line makes our third line a lot better, but he's not right now. I know that, but like hypothetically, if Yarncroc's playing on the third line with Camp and um, Kerfoot, let's say, that's a great third line in my
Yeah.
eyes. Um, but just I think third lines are just not as important as people think they are. Like obviously, the big guys are going to score the goals, and then
Well, the big guys are gonna play on the ice.
I mean the
That's the
thing is,
thing.
man, it's just like Nick Paul was the guy who killed us
Mhm.
last year. That's the guy who stabbed us and like twisted the knife, you
Yep.
know. So he's a third line guy, and I guess that, but it's just our third line guy. Camp could have done that too. It just depends on the day. Like
Yeah. Oh
it's
no. A lot of it
crazy.
has to do with luck.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but
We'll
yeah,
get.
Holmberg. I like Aston-Reese. I like Aston-Reese. I think he's a good fourth line player. He should be an everyday player.
Yeah. No. No.
But yeah,
Holmberg has been really impressive. From the stuff I've watched.
mhm.
But like we always have these good fourth liners like Trevor Moore, Bear Banov.
True,
Like
true,
this
true,
guy's
true.
playing on one of the worst teams in the league, and he's averaging over half a point per game. Like unheard
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
right? But
yeah. Barry was involved in a trade to the Sharks, I guess. For who was that though? Who did we get him? It was some Russian guy, I believe.
yeah, I don't remember fully.
It was so irrelevant.
Oh yes.
That's how
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, but a guy like Mikheyev on the third line even can change the game.
Yeah.
But it's more so the fourth line that's very, very, very interchangeable. And then the third line can make a big difference. But honestly, that solid first and second line is just like, they have to be up. They both have to be good. And like we've had last year, there was huge issues with Tavares and Nylander not stepping up at times. Huge issues with that. So we'll see. And that's why we could get into this talk about trades
I was gonna say
because
toxic.
because topic change. What happens with that second line left wing? That's been a hole for 3 years now.
Yep.
Since Hyman left, he was playing with who? Yeah, it's been a hole forever.
Yeah.
Actually,
Forever. Yeah.
since Nylander and Tavares have been playing together, it's been a hole.
Yeah.
So there's guys that go in and out. Yarncroc's fitting well with them.
They just
Um,
have so much more potential. That's the thing.
it's just like I said, I think Bunting serves that purpose on that first line. It's great what he does. Bit he's a Hyman type of guy, a bit worse,
Mhm.
right? That's first line should just be set. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
And then Tavares and Nylander. Obviously, that left winger, Yarncroc is playing well, but like I would much rather have Yarncroc on the third line. Then you have a really dependable scorer on the third line.
Yeah.
He can score goals, and then he's a threat to the other third line on other teams.
Yeah. It also
When
helps
we
Kerfoot out too that he's playing with better players.
and it helps Kerfoot out. Like I think an unbelievable third line for the Leafs would be Kerfoot on left wing, Kampf at center, and Yarncroc at right wing. I don't think there's a better third line than that.
Mm.
Um, Camp is extremely underrated, and gotta love David Camp.
Oh, you
So,
gotta love him.
but yeah, I mean, what Eric? Let's switch it up here.
Okay.
What do you think about? Welcome back to the Buzz and Laughs podcast. This is your host Michael Feldbloom, and I'm here with my guest Eric Fogarty. Eric, what do you think about that second line spot on the that left wing there? It is empty. It's up for grabs.
It is empty. Wait, did you want me to say Nyes or
Let's talk about Knies actually.
okay, well I can say what I want. Like,
Okay.
okay.
Sorry. Let's just say this. Every time I look on Twitter, there's a new Knies highlight.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying Knies could fill that spot. Sign at the end of the NCAA year and play in that spot. What do you think? And what do you think you would do?
Okay. Okay. So I don't know if this ruined your whole like surprise thing, but I'm gonna play the devil's advocate on Nyes. Or wait, did you want me to, or did you want me to?
Go ahead, dude. What do
Okay,
you think?
okay. So I've heard a lot about this. Felly's talked about this, and well, the first time I heard it, I was like, "Holy shit!" Nyes' season comes to an end. We sign Nyes. We have a top six winger. We don't need to trade anyone. In my opinion, though, is that the best option really? I don't know. I'm good thing I'm not Kyle Dubas because I don't know. Okay, this is where I'm coming from. So I've watched a lot of Matthew Nyes. I've seen a lot of highlights, and the best I ever got to watch him was in the U.S. in the Olympics when he played for Team U.S. He was just one step ahead of everyone on that team. I don't know how he did it. 20 years old, he was just he was just playing so good, and I was like, wow, I am so glad the Leafs draft. He was holding that team together. He almost scored the overtime winner in the bronze medal game against Slovakia. It was nuts. It was nuts. He was everywhere. Okay, I know that this guy is capable of playing in top six. However, is he going to be a Cale Makar where he just signs for the playoffs and rips it up? I don't know. That's a lot of pressure, and we really shouldn't have our expectations high on Nyes when instead we can trade for a guy like Max Domi, put him in that spot he would fit. I think he would fit really well, and then trade for an extra defenseman like Carson Soucy or someone along that line that's defensively responsible. Um, they don't make too many mistakes. They make everyone around them better, and they have playoff experience. So someone like that and Max Domi, he's just doing so well for Chicago. I don't know the price on him. That would be a big issue, but someone who brings grit, someone who can score goals. Basically, if you took Michael Bunting, duplicated him, put it on the second line.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Domi is on a 1 year contract,
He is.
and he doesn't make a crazy amount of money, and he's on a really, really, really bad team. He's 100% a trade deadline acquisition.
Yeah.
Like, he's out there. Um, he would be a perfect fit on the Leafs. I think that would be crazy. Also, his dad played on the Leafs. That'd be awesome, right? A little Ty Domi action, getting back to the Leafs, to the old ties there. But you know, in my eyes, it's like, listen, I also see it both ways because listen, I don't think they need their first round pick this year. Screw that.
They
They're gonna,
they have reported though that they want to keep it and that they're not looking to move Nyes.
dude. Well, obviously, I wouldn't move Nice. I would not move
Yeah.
Nice. I would move Niemela if it was depending who you're getting. And either of those thin guys, Hervonen or Niemela, just because we have good defense right now, especially because Liljegren and Sandin are doing so well. But here's the thing, like I would rather them trade that first round pick for a good player. Um, that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is hypothetically trade at the draft with that pick. Hopefully try to get something there, um, which would be a benefit of keeping it. I don't think they should draft a player with that pick. I just don't because it's gonna be a 25th overall pick, hopefully a 30th, 32nd overall pick. Um, it's gonna be a late first round pick.
Yeah, yeah.
A late first round pick develops in 3 to 4 years. Do you want it just all depends on how soon they're trying to win. Do you make a push for it this year? I think so. You know, we're running out of time. Matthews is 26 years old. Marner is 26 years old. I think 25. 25.
In that
They're
range.
25. They're 25 years old. Reilly's getting old. We have a great goalie. At least we know that for this year, right? Samsonov playing great for now, knock on wood. But I honestly think it could go either way. If they trust Yarncroc enough to step up in that second line role or Kerfoot, if it gets to that, then fine, bring Nyes up. If he plays bad, he plays bad. Don't bother. But there's no need to trade. Issue would be if one of those guys gets injured, whatever. But Nyes is still there, so it's like it's just the issue of we have no clue if he's NHL ready.
Yeah, the way I look at it is,
Playoff NHL ready as well. It's a different game.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. It's very hard. Like Makar is a very, very special player, and to do that at that young of an age, coming out of your season NCAA and just taking over the playoffs, unbelievable. It's so rare, and I think we're
Yeah.
expecting him to do that.
He's Kale
And it,
McCarr though.
yeah, yeah, but
He's a superstar.
I think either way, still you have to sign Nyes at the end of the season. Like
Yeah,
there's no
yeah,
point
yeah.
of not trying it, right? It's
No.
just the thing is, do you give up other assets, um, just to boost your team up? Like get a guy like Max Domi or get someone to fill that role, and also sign Nyes, right? Like you
Yeah.
don't lose
I
anything by
mean,
doing that.
so there's been this weird talk about um Timo Meyer, and that's
Oh
just like
yeah,
that is also just like it would be unbelievable that
yeah,
dude Meyer, Matthews, and Marner. Um, it would be an unsolvable line, and honestly, it's like a it's honestly like a Kawhi sort of thing. Like, do you go for it? Do you try to just do it? Like trade like if I'm Dubas, I'm trading a first round pick plus a few prospects for a guy that's really, really good. And then I'm happy with the defense, honestly.
I am too.
Um, keep the defense the way it is. There's guys that can slot in. If someone gets injured, I'm fine with Jordy Ben playing on a third
Yeah.
pairing. Jordy Ben can play on a third pairing, especially in the playoffs. He's a physical guy.
Hmm.
If someone gets injured, I'm completely okay with that. Um, so, or Timmins, those guys are interchangeable almost, and Timmins has been really good. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm glad I'm not doing this because I would have no clue what to do unless I had like a really good offer on the table. I don't think I would make a move. Like he's gonna make a move. Um, and it's
Just depends how
probably
big.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. In the past, it's been let's make a move at the trade deadline and like push for the playoffs, right? Um, but the team is always so good in the regular season.
Hmm.
What happens if we just don't change anything?
Yeah,
Like let's just try that.
yeah,
The issue is, I guess, it's other teams are getting better in certain places at the trade deadline and all that, but the team's so good right now. It's just they're clicking. So it's like, why change it? Let's just leave it and ride it.
yeah.
But who knows? It's kind of like a thing that would be unheard of to not trade for someone at the trade deadline.
Hmm.
And you're not going to see like a Labushkin move from Dubas. We have that. We have that. Like I say, we have 8 defensemen that can play hockey, and I'm comfortable putting in a playoff game.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't see defenseman needs because Giordano's so solid as well. Great, that was just amazing. But that, and then the only thing I would see is like, and the third and fourth line are so solid.
Yeah, because they're so
Um,
interchangeable.
they're so interchangeable. Holmberg's there; he can come in and out of the lineup, whatever. Holmberg, Engvall, I'm fine with. Simmons can play. Camp, Yarncroc, bro. Like that's a great, great bottom six.
Yeah.
It's that little spot on that second line that it's just, and you don't know how people click with Nylander and Tavares because they play such a specific game.
Yeah.
The two of them, it takes such a niche guy to click with Tavares and Nylander, but that's the only thing that I would do is trade for that second line winger.
Yeah. And
One
we'll wrap.
move,
Yeah, we'll wrap
one
it up.
move, no, one move.
We'll wrap it up there
No,
because
no.
the call's gonna end. But yeah, the
Yeah, no,
official report
yeah,
on Timo Meyer was that the Leafs wanted to trade for him, and he still has deal years left, so they would shop his contract after the season's over,
yeah, yeah.
regardless of what happens. Um, which that would Timo Meyer would be excellent. That would change everything.
Yes,
But yeah, we'll
that would
leave it
change
there. We'll
everything.
make a whole new video for trade deadline.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, that has been the Buds in the Box podcast. I hope you guys really enjoyed that video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. This has been the Buds in the Box podcast. Bye for now.